Hi, I'm your host, Diane Palangan. I'm the host for the Bowie Business Journal, where you can meet your local business owners. Today, I'd like to introduce you to our guest, Angela Meggs. Angela is with DJ Angie D Entertainment. Welcome, Angie. Thank you so much for coming out. It's a mouthful, DJ Angie, which obviously says you're a DJ.
Yes, it does.
Which is different to begin with because, you know, about 15 years ago, I used to do a show that was strictly on women and the businesses women were in. And I didn't know you then. I would have loved to have you on the show because it's something you rarely see as a female DJ. And it talks about entertainment, uplighting, and photo booth. I know what a photo booth is. So we'll talk about the entertainment and uplighting. But first, I'd like to know how long you've had this business.
Well, first I'd like to say thank you so much for inviting me here, and I love the fact that there's actually a Bowie Business Journal. Absolutely wonderful. My company, DJ Angie D Entertainment, has been in operation since 2007.
Fun.
And I got involved working with being a DJ because of my love of music. And from my original roots out of New Orleans, Louisiana.
Oh, I love New Orleans.
Oh, it's a great place.
Yes.
I had been a part of music with the band since 3rd grade.
Oh.
And I played all the way up through college. Went to school out in California. Did not continue with music there. But I decided around 2002, and you know, prior to that I had been making mixtapes for families. So, you know, my family said, well, why don't you do something with this instead of just, you know, making music for our little home parties? And I said, you know what? You're right. I've been talking about it forever. So around 2002, I got myself gear and became a roadie while I was in Texas, of all places, right? El Paso, which is quite in the news these days.
Yeah.
Great place, great place. And I began being an assistant DJ. I started out as a roadie, then as an assistant DJ. And then when I came out to the DC area, I worked for another company that had me in Adams Morgan and DC proper.
Yes. So
I was in the club scene for quite a bit.
Yeah.
So I was playing everything from your top 40 country and western to hip hop across the board, from, you know, in different places out of Adams Morgan and DC. My favorite place I will give a shout out to.
Yes. Yes.
Sign of the Whale. Great place to be. Great place to be. A lot of fun.
Adams Morgan is where the elite go to meet. I'll tell you that. Yes, indeed.
It's great.
So if you started out in Texas, then you went to school in California. Sounds like you were maybe a military brat or military yourself.
Actually, I was military myself.
Yeah?
And had a great career. Really loved being a part of the Army.
The Army?
Army reconnaissance is my background.
Wow. So you weren't in the band in the military then?
Not at all.
Yeah, wow.
Not at all. In fact, you know, at this point, this is where my education came into play, and I was electronics engineering out of San Jose State University. So that played a role in me becoming or being a part of Army aviation and working in aerial reconnaissance. So quite a divergence, yes?
Yeah, whoa. Army, I want to come back to that after we talk about your business.
Sure.
Recon. Okay, so the Army didn't really play a part in this at all. You just had a love of music. So
yes.
I obviously know what a DJ is, and I've seen their equipment, and it seems to have grown over the years to what people used to bring. They have huge soundboards and I guess cassette. Am I dating? What kind of players do we have?
Oh, well, it's, I will tell you, much of DJing now is very, I want to say 21st century in the sense that we have really slimmed down on a lot of our equipment. You're right. There was big soundboards, big speakers. Now, much of my setup consists of 4 speakers for the most part, and soundboard along with my controller. So, and I carry about 3 to 4 terabytes of music.
Wow.
So I'm not carrying around, as now here we go with dating, crates of
Right.
music anymore. Now I still have vinyl at home, and turntables.
Yeah.
I still have my TD 200, so yes, I still turn on those from time to time. But now with my controller, which is a Pioneer, it's much easier to move in, set up, perform, and then break down in a short amount of time.
I can't even imagine that much music, 3 or 4 terabytes. Oh my goodness. You could live a lifetime and never fill all that up.
Oh, that's true.
Whoa.
And you know, that's the great thing about DJ Angie D Entertainment. Everything that we have, all of our music from 1950s on, is digitized.
Right.
And not only do we have outstanding DJs and MCs, but you talked about the room decor uplighting. We also have personalized monograms and open style photo booths. So we have, you know, we consider your full entertainment under one umbrella. And the great thing about our music is it's, first off, all obscenity free. And our guys know our music quite a bit. I have a great team that works with me now. And we love being a part of the entertainment side of this industry.
It's just so amazing that somebody can say, can you play such and such a song? And you say, yeah, and like 2 or 3 songs later, they're playing it
Yes.
for you. So you have to, how many of those, I guess they're jump drives with the terabytes on them, how many of those do you have to carry, or do you only have to carry one?
I mainly have one external drive that I carry with me, and then I have quite a bit. I carry 2 terabytes on my laptop. So, you know, it's quite a bit of music.
So they just say the song, you go search.
I can search for it pretty quickly.
Find it pretty quickly. Wow.
Yes.
So is it categorized? Do you categorize it by rockabilly or country or?
Well, and you know, I have several descriptors for the music, so that way we go across the board, because let's face it, music now is a common denominator. It speaks every type of language. It goes across all genres. And, you know, it just depends on what you like. So
Well,
whether
in
it's
the old days with vinyl, though, sometimes you got stuck with somebody who didn't have, you know, enough music to satisfy the entire audience. You know, like if they would come, if they were coming to a young person's wedding, but there's so many older people there,
Oh, yes.
and they would all play just all the young stuff, and then the older people couldn't dance to
Correct.
it. So you have to know your audience before you even see it.
Most definitely. And, you know, the great thing about DJ Angie D Entertainment is 75% of what we do is weddings. The other 25% is corporate events, school dances, theme parties, charity events. At a wedding, it's important that we are able to play across the board. And so for myself, along with many of my team members, we play music that cuts that edge. So I have no problem mixing Beastie Boys and Michael Jackson, or Justin Timberlake with Earth, Wind and Fire. So that way everybody gets a little bit of something they all want to hear and recognize, because that's really important.
Yeah.
And for us, having a wedding where everybody gets to get out there and dance is, you know, that's the most satisfying thing to see.
It is, definitely, because somebody will say, oh, it was a terrible wedding because they didn't like the music. But so you're not really as stuck with your music that you bring as maybe you were when you were playing all vinyl.
That's true.
I mean, I can't even imagine how much materials you had to carry.
It's quite a bit.
Before it was.
You had to bring almost a truckload of crates.
Wow.
It used to be. But, you know, the mark of a good DJ, though, twofold, is one, you have to be able to read your audience, to know what kind of music is moving everyone. And then the second thing is, you have to be able to mix that music together. You have to be able to mix different genres of music together. And that way, you know, you're not a radio DJ. You're not playing a song from point A to point B. You're actually mixing point A with point J and Q and Z, and everybody's out on the floor having a great time. That is the mark of a good DJ.
Well, do you have the chicken dance on your
That is a standard at every wedding. You know, every line dance possible.
Yeah.
Whether it's the Cupid shuffle to the wobble.
Yeah.
Even, you know, whether you want to dance the neon moon, it's great. You got to have it all for every type of party that you're doing.
Wonderful. It sounds like a fun job, but I'm sure it's, you know, has its fun aspects, but a lot of work. Because you're working when everybody else is off.
Correct.
And having a good time.
Oh, and that's the idea. You know, sometimes folks look at a DJ and say, oh, a human iPod. And they don't really think about everything that goes into making sure that you create a fun, high energy, great time atmosphere.
Well, it's not only music. People are relying on you to carry the show through,
Correct.
to introduce the wedding party, to make sure that everybody's having a good time.
Yes.
I mean, it's just not playing music. You really have to have some kind of repertoire going and a good personality to make it take off, because the DJ can make or break a fun day. Yeah.
And I will tell you, of many of the wedding surveys that were done, they go back, whether it's Wedding Wire or The Knot, which we advertise on quite a bit. They do many surveys, and they go to couples and say, if there was something you could change or redo, what would it be?
Yeah.
And over 89.9% of the couples interviewed would say they wish they had taken more time to look at their entertainment and had spent more money on their entertainment as opposed to some other things like, you know, end of night favors. Instead.
Well, that brings me to another issue. When you're saying spend more money on the entertainment, which is true, but women, especially self-employed women, have a tendency to make their own pay gap.
Yes.
So we have a tendency to devalue ourselves and charge less.
Oh, I agree.
So do you find that when people are talking to you about a wedding or an event, that you may have the tendency to back up because of being a woman and say, well, geez, maybe I can't charge that much?
Actually, I don't.
Oh, good.
And the reason I don't is because, first off, I provide a service that few other entertainment companies out there, and you know, I dare say DJs, because our company is more than just being a DJ, more than just being the music. Yeah. The second thing is all my prices are posted, so I'm not hiding anything.
Okay.
And the third thing is I'm worth it.
Yeah, I love to hear that.
So,
yeah.
Yes, if I may not be the right DJ for you, but everybody prioritizes what's important to their celebration, and maybe their entertainment is not.
Well, I'm really glad to hear that, because like I said, women, especially self-employed women, have a tendency to make their own pay gap, and I've been trying to stop it for 30 years, but you know, it eventually will come. So now we have the entertainment, which is the music and all, and we know that you have to have a personality to go along with it to make sure everyone's having fun. You have to know the dances too, don't you?
Most definitely.
Yeah, you have to show the steps.
You know, one of the great things about the company is not only are we outstanding DJs, but MCs. And a master of ceremony or mistress of ceremony has to be engaging with your family and friends, because that's what it is. You call them guests, I call them family and friends, because otherwise you wouldn't have them there. So when you have that situation, you have some people that don't know what the line dances are. So I have no problem getting out there and show them and lead the way and talk people through it. And you will find that when you're able to be out there with, you know, the family and friends, having a great time, more people want to come to the dance floor and learn that.
I have been to weddings where the DJ does not know the dances. And they put them on, and I've been to where the DJ does know the dances and gets out there and does it, and it's much more fun when you have somebody who knows what they're doing, and you can
most definitely, and you help traffic jam, so you know, everybody's going the same way, not bumping into each other.
Right.
That makes for a better party.
Yeah, it's a good thing. So So now we know you do the music and you dance, and that's an important thing. Now,
definitely.
what is uplighting?
Well, we have what's called room decor uplighting. There's two forms of lighting. You generally have a room that has its overall lighting itself, but then uplighting is a way to actually color your room, and it's lighting that's set on the floor and it goes up.
Okay.
And there's generally different types of lighting out there. Many different companies create portable lighting to be used, and we do this to help really customize the room for the client. So, you know, many couples want to know, how do we make our celebration really about us? We don't want to be cookie cutter. And one of the ways I help a couple really customize their celebration to them is putting color to their room and transforming that space.
That would do it. Yeah.
Oh yes, it definitely does. And it's generally to their wedding colors or to some particular theme that they have. So we can color a room from blue to pink to purple to amber.
It's more fun dancing in
yes.
color.
It is.
Yeah.
And you can see how it really transforms a room in warmth by having color in there. So it makes a big difference. I love having the wow factor. When people come into a room and they go like, wow, this is beautiful.
See, I would never think that the DJ would supply all that, because it's more than a DJ. It's an entertainment company. So then you have the photo booths, which are a lot of fun, but you have to have a lot of carry a lot of stuff too.
Actually, nowadays it's very different. So we have our open style photo booth. Some people know it as open air. And it's very portable, very streamlined. The size of the booth is only less than 3 by 3.
Yeah.
And it has 12-second print time frame, so we do instant prints right then and there, and we can take up a space that's less than 5 by 5.
And everybody has so much fun with those.
It's great. And here again, we customize once more, because we can make the photo frame in line with what the couple has for their celebration.
Oh.
So whatever your color scheme, whether you want textures such as, you know, an outdoor leaves or Italian theme or garden theme, botanical theme, we can put that all as a part of the frame itself, in addition to your name and date. But really, I want to say you have two places that a photo goes from a photo booth. It's either going to go on the refrigerator or in a frame. That's how we look at our pictures. So people are going to want to keep these photos. And because our booths are, you know, they're very modern, they're very sleek, you can actually send your photo directly to your Instagram, Facebook, Twitter account right then and there from the booth.
Wow.
So talk about instant share.
Wow.
And I always tell couples the best way to, you know, see what happened at your wedding is have people share to a specific location for you. And that way you can see all of what's happened, because, you know, so much is happening during the celebration. You don't know until you see pictures after the fact. And what a great way to capture that.
And it's a good way. It's good to say, oh, it looks like everybody had fun, because you, who should be having all the fun, are not, because you have to make sure that, you know, you have to talk to everybody who's there and make sure they're having a good time. But you're rest assured they're having a good time if the music's good and everybody's out there dancing.
Well, I tell you, we have a couple of taglines to our company. First and foremost is, we always want to make your event memorable, no matter what. The next one is, we want every guest of honor, every couple, to be guests at their own celebration. So believe it or not, we go through a great process to help couples in the planning, so that by the time we get to their actual day, we've created a sequence of events that the couple knows everything is going to happen. And we talk to the venue as well as the banquet manager, the photographer. We all have the same sequence of events, so that way everyone knows what the plan is, when it's supposed to happen, who's going to give a toast, what do we need for it. It's already laid out.
And you do that
we do
timing.
That.
Wow.
Yes, we do. That's why I said we're an entertainment company. We're more than music. So that way, when the couple comes in from their ceremony, I tell them that's always the hard part.
Yeah.
Getting to say I do. So once you do the I do's and coming in, now it's time to have a great time.
Yeah.
Because all your family and friends are there. And I will tell you, you know, people will not remember whether you had fresh roses or gardenias. They won't remember if they had cold chicken or great fish. They won't remember if they had linen that was silk or satin, but they will remember if they had a great time.
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes, you know, sometimes you'll hear people just complain about everything because they couldn't get up and dance, so they're sitting around nitpicking. Yeah.
Yes.
And I guess the days of nitpicking are hopefully far behind us, since if you can't find what you're looking for with 4 terabytes of music,
then shame on you. As my grandmother used to say, shame on you.
One of the things that I've enjoyed so much, my son got me for Christmas, was Alexa.
Oh, okay.
And oh my gosh, I love that so much, because I just have to say one, you know, Alexa, play this, or Alexa, play that. And my kids, I drive them crazy, because I always say, there's a song written about that. You know, anything you say, there's a song about that. There's a song about that. And you can say, Alexa, play, and just say the sentence, and she figures out what song you're thinking about. And there it goes. It played a song that my grandmother taught us as kids. And her father taught her. He was in show business, because he pulled the curtains on the stage. And so he brought the music home, and then they learned the music. And when we were kids, she would play the piano after dinner, and we would be cleaning up, and she would play the piano. And I thought I had the coolest grandma in the world, because she was just rocking and rolling, and the piano was going. And she taught us this song. I taught the song to my kids. They taught to their kids. And I said, Alexa, play He May Be Old. You know what? It was like less than 3 seconds, and she had the 1916 recording of it. And I said, wasn't that something? So, you know, years later, when my grandmother was coming to visit me, I thought, well, she's going to be here 30 days, and I need to keep her occupied. So I scoured the antique stores in Bowie and found an old upright piano like what I remembered as a kid. And I said, I thought it'll keep her busy while I'm at work during the day, you know, and she can play the piano. So I brought her home from the airport. I said, look, Graham, look what I got you. And she said, whatever for? And I said, so you can play the piano for us and do for the kids like you did for us when we were young? Yeah. And she said, well, I don't play the piano. I said, what do you mean you don't play the piano? You played it every night. She said, oh, for God's sakes, that was a player piano. And that's why she was rocking and rolling, because she was pushing the billows.
Oh, my goodness.
Rolling.
Oh,
now that was entertainment.
That was. That's great. That is priceless. That's absolutely wonderful.
It's the best grandma story in the world.
Oh,
but,
yes.
So I appreciate music. I've always appreciated music, and I really appreciate the work you do. So we're down to about 5 or 6 minutes. I don't know if there's something you want to cover about your business, because I sure do want to talk about this Army Recon.
Oh, sure. Well, you know, the great thing is we're headquartered out of Bowie, which I love being a part of, and I love the fact that we were featured in Bowie Lifestyle publication.
What month?
May.
May, okay.
And I understand we'll have an even greater story as a part of Backstage. They're doing a whole set of stories about musicians and music in the July issue. So if you get a chance, please look us up.
Yeah.
But we love being a part of the community.
So when you say part in Bowie, where in Bowie this does not
fine. We're right off of Racetrack Road. We're near Bowie State University. Woo.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know, that's wonderful. The university is not in the city of Bowie. I wish it would annex with us, but it's not. So anyhow, I'm seeing you have other things here too.
Oh, yes. So along with the room decor uplighting, we also do personalized monograms and company logos.
Okay.
And I've already talked with you about the photo booth. We also do
pin spots.
Pin spots,
What's
yes.
a pin spot?
A pin spot is a way to aim light directly into one area, and because it's high up, generally it's 10 feet up, no one can walk across it. So you'll come into a room and you'll see this plant, and it looks like there's sun shining specifically on this plant. And you'll look around, it's like, where is the sunshine coming from? But it's a way to highlight something specific, which is why it's a pin spot.
Wow.
Now, the other thing is most people, believe it or not, know how they're going to come into their room for their celebration,
Yeah.
but they never think about how they're going to leave.
How they're going to leave, yeah.
And we also do what's called grand exits. And in a grand exit, you know, you say, you got two ways you can leave the room. You can have your family and friends leave the room. You can turn the lights on and say, don't let the door hit you on the way out. Or you can have a culminative event that brings all your family and friends together. So whether it's bubbles or streamers or light sticks or even sparklers, which is venue dependent, we provide all of that as a part of that exit. And I will tell you one other thing, since we're talking about grand, that we do that really separates us from other companies is that we do a thing that's called a grand entrance love story. And I say this because, you know, everybody has a little bit of the story here and a little bit of the story there of how couples came together, how they got to this day of walking down the aisle. But not everybody has the full story.
Yeah.
So believe it or not, in 3 minutes or less, we tell that story of how we got to today.
Wow.
Now, I will tell you, I take a little artistic license with some of the
Which is
storyline,
good,
but
yeah.
it's great. I mean, the couple provides me the facts, but we create the story.
Oh, that's so nice.
Oh, yes. And in that way, everybody has the full story. There's no inside story here. Everybody has the same story, which I tell you, really creates a great, intimate atmosphere at a celebration.
Well, if everybody knows how they met, yeah, because everybody, how'd you meet somebody like this, or where did you two meet, or, you know, was it love at first sight? Or,
Exactly.
you know, people want to know that.
They do,
Yeah.
and I will tell you, more often than not, more couples are happy that they shared their story like that, because at anniversary parties, people still talk about, oh, I remember when your DJ talked about this. That was so funny. That was great.
That takes a big strain off of the best man and the matron of honor or maid of honor, who has to usually tell that whole story or say something about how they met, and how that takes a real strain off of them.
Well, we believe in, again, making our couple feel like the guests of honor that they are, and to just be there and have a great time. And when the couple tells me that they want to have a great, fun, entertaining, as they say, no stress, no hassle, but relaxed and good time and memorable good time, then we are the company that they reach out more often than not to.
Not just for weddings, you do for corporate events.
Yes, we do.
And like people's Christmas parties.
We do
or
Christmas parties. We'll do picnics.
anniversaries.
We'll do awards dinners. We also work with different conferences, as well as school dances. Believe it or not, we've been doing the annual military ball for the Prince George's County JRTC for nearly 10 years now.
Wow.
And you can ask the kids if they've had a great time every time.
Well, you know what? I'm sorry. I've had a great time.
Oh, my goodness.
We are out of time.
Oh.